As promised, this is going to be a hectic week, and today let's take a look at another awesome smartphone. This is the Huawei Mate XS 2. Hey guys, Ash here, and let's get started with the unboxing. This is the box the Mate XS 2 comes in. Let's go ahead, open it up. And the moment we do, we are greeted by nothing but the XS 2 itself. Sorry about the focus hunting here. Now the outwards fold, damn, I still can't avoid having that one moment of, did I do it wrong in my head? Anyways, press this to open it again. Moving on, we have a USB Type-A to Type-C cable with orange accents, followed by a 66-watt Huawei supercharger. This should be able to get the 4600 mAh battery on the inside to full charge in about an hour. The other box, it's got a SIM ejector tool and a case for the Mate XS 2. This is a hard case that we are gonna have to stick on, but we'll get to that in a moment. For now, let's talk about this form factor. Now guys, there are a lot of negatives as well as positives about a phone that folds outwards. Now let's start with the positives. I'm a positive person. Okay, not really, but let's start with the positives nonetheless. On phones that fold inwards, once the display is folded, you need another display, right? That's why these phones have two displays, one that folds that's on the inside and one regular display that's on the outside. Now here, since the display folds outwards, you only need one display. That means lesser weight and a sleeker phone. The Mate XS 2, this is the slimmest and lightest foldable available today. Unfolded, it's just 5.4 millimeters thick. And even folded, it's just 11 millimeters thick, which if you think about, it's not that bad, right? It's just as thick as most phones are with a case on. Similarly, the weight at 260 grams is pretty much the same weight as some flagship phones with a case. So say when you're using it folded like this, you don't feel like you're compromising on the ease of use. The aspect ratio this way is 19:9, and given the thickness and the weight, this feels just like pretty much any candy bar form factor phone, just like a regular phone. Also, the sleekness of the phone means a lot of the hardware is present to this one area right here, and that gives you something to grip. Now, if you look at ebook readers, you see a lot of them having this kind of one area where you can hold them. Ergonomics wise, when you have the screen open, the Mate XS 2, it's a pleasure to hold and use. It doesn't cause as much wrist fatigue as other foldables out there. Now, because of the outer fold, when it's open, this crease here, it's not as prominent. This is pretty much the least noticeable crease you're gonna see on any foldable today. Even when using it daily, even when touching the display, I barely noticed it. Huawei is calling this the double rotating falcon wing hinge, and their engineers have done a very good job with it. So these are the positives, but like I said earlier, there are both positives as well as negatives to this design. Now the problem with the display that folds outwards is that the display, well, it's on the outside, it folds outwards. This means no matter which way you set your phone down, the display is gonna end up touching the surface. So when you put it down, when you pick it up, there's always a chance of scratching the display. Now whatever phone you're watching this video on, quickly flip it around and tell me if there's a scratch. Is there any signs of use? Maybe you're using the phone naked, maybe you're using it with a case on. Does your case have a scratch? Take your time, go ahead, pause this video, take a look, and let me know in the comments, what phone are you using? Are you using a case or not? And can you see a scratch, or is your back pristine? Are you done? I'll wait. Okay, I guess you're done. I'll trust you, but if you said my phone's back is pristine, I'm not gonna trust that, because with usage, something or the other does happen. Now forget the back. When you're using a phone and you bump against something, you end up with a slight scratch to the side or a dent. Here on a phone that folds to the outside, one of the sides happens to be the display, and oh yeah, that's an issue, right? Now Huawei has done a lot to address these issues. For starters, they provide a screen protector on top of the display. If you buy an XS 2, please don't remove this. This is not something to be tinkered around with by the end consumer. So if you end up getting any scratches on the back, you can take it to Huawei service centers and get it replaced. This actually inspired a lot of confidence in using this phone as a daily driver for me. Next, there's this aluminum alloy protective frame that's slightly elevated above the screen so that at least on flat surfaces, the screen doesn't touch the surface you place it on. And finally, there's this case that's included. Peel off the stickers and there you go, fold it, and yeah, you have a regular phone. Open it, press that button, and the spring-loaded mechanism pops the screen right back open. You still need to apply a little bit of force to get it to open fully, but This is pretty cool, right? The stiffness of this hinge means you could prop it up in a kind of sort of tent mode if you want to. Now the display here, it's 7.8 inches unfolded, 2200 by 2480 pixels, translating to roughly 424 pixels per inch. The aspect ratio is 7 point something by 8, almost a square. Folded, it's a little over half the size with a 6.5 inch diagonal. This is an OLED panel, quite vibrant and bright, 120Hz refresh. There are two speakers, one on each side. They get reasonably loud. Media consumption is okay, but you're not really gaining a lot of screen real estate since there are gonna be black bars to the top and bottom when you're using it unfolded. The Mate XS2 to me is a phone that's mainly meant for people who read a lot. I mean, not just books, but if you need to consume a lot of information, if you need to deal with spreadsheets, presentations, a lot of emails, even something as simple as browsing works so much better with this unfolded display. The aspect ratio is perfect for hitting that show desktop version, and it's just an amazing experience. Now things are kept smooth thanks to that Snapdragon 888 SoC on the inside. While it's not the latest, it's still a pretty powerful chip. It's paired with 8 or 12 gigs of RAM and 256 or 512 gigs of storage, which you can further expand using Huawei's proprietary nano memory cards, which will take up the second SIM slot. Beat it up, this device is 4G only due to Huawei's issues. Anyways, coming back to the performance, as you can see, the Mate XS2 can run games well. Some might not be optimized for this aspect ratio, but in that case, you can always fold the screen and get your widescreen gaming on. Now, one change Huawei has made this generation is with the selfie camera. Instead of having to rely on the primary, we now get a hole punch to the front with an actual 10.7 megapixel selfie camera, which does quite well. They even offer EIS for video via this camera. But being able to utilize that 50 megapixel true chroma rear camera for selfies with that stabilization, that makes the Mate XS2 perfect for vlogging, etc. Switch to the 13 megapixel ultra wide 120-degree field of view f2.2. It almost feels like you're shooting with an action camera, a very expensive action camera, but still, that's the kind of feel you get. To be able to shoot this way, you need to tap this little icon up top, and now the display gets mirrored on the other side. If you're vlogging, you can use this to frame yourself, or if you're shooting someone else, you can show them what is it that you're shooting. Still images, they came out quite nicely via all three sensors. The primary impressed even under low light. The third sensor, by the way, it's an 8 megapixel 3x telephoto, so all three sensors here are actually usable ones. No depth or macro BS on this phone, which I really appreciate. Now, there are some limitations with the Mate XS2. Of course, the lack of GMS is one, but with G-Space, I've been able to run pretty much what I wanted to. Yes, it's not perfect, but G-Space plus the Huawei App Store plus Petal Search makes the software experience way better than what it used to be. And MUI here, it's made excellent use of the screen real estate. Now just see this for yourself. Drag from the corner and hold for this sidebar to pop up. From here, you can launch a floating app. You can even launch multiple floating apps at once. You're done using them? Then go ahead, you can minimize them to the side. And if you want to bring them back, you can quickly do so from here. Alternatively, from this sidebar, you can drag and drop an app onto the screen to get them to open in split screen. Like I said, Huawei is making very good use of all the screen real estate on offer. So overall, the Mate XS2 is one of the best foldables I've used so far, and it is launching in the UAE pretty soon. Don't have a pricing estimate as of now, but once I do, I'll have it pinned to the comments below. So what do you guys think of this phone? Love it, hate it? More complex feelings? Let me know all about it in the comments below. And with that, we are at the end of today's video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.